There, put all the names. Let's see who's here. So it's locked. Let's see if we can find them all. There's always somebody here. Nope, nobody's here. All right. So the meeting doesn't start until 2:30, so we'll go see who else is around. People told me Duarte was here earlier. I haven't seen him though. Let's see if we can find Duarte. Nope, no Duarte. Well, while I wait for guys, you know, the past week's been interesting because I think officially for the first time, a formal written complaint has been lodged on the Brown Act violations where there's not picking certain names and they're not calling on people and they're cutting off public comment. And the other thing too is, interestingly enough, with the random name generator, that's something that wasn't mentioned before. And I'm hoping with that complaint form, you know, that's the step to go through and seek relief first. You exhaust administrative relief, and then you sue the city. I'll be very interested to see what the city attorney says. I got physical, already mailed them and emailed them a while back. I served the physical copy to the clerk's office. I served the physical copy to the mayor's office, taking virtual public comment, despite that they used to. And so, we'll see. I've talked to a bunch of neighborhood councils. It seems like that they're all interested. It seems that they're all on board. And, you know, it's just a matter of time. Basically, the angle to all of this is that not having virtual public comment, and more specifically, the inconsistent rules and the shifting of said rules for each meeting is the grounds to strongly dispute not only the repeated Brown Act violations, but consideration of taking virtual public comment. And so it'll be interesting to see. It'll be very interesting to see. And you know, for what it's worth, that guy's new. Nazarian, yeah, he's new. So this guy's new. The funniest part is you see some of the people, Herman, that will swear during the middle of meetings. I'm sure you guys have heard about it. Yeah, so it's funny to hear him and his take on it because he comes from a state assembly member, so he's used to passing bills, and it's a very formal decorum. It's a super tight ship. Time starts at when it says, time cuts off when it says, there's no interruptions, you just go straight through. The problem here is that the city has a long history of just bullshitly kicking people out of the public meetings and not allowing them to public comment. All the swears you hear, the point isn't just to be an ass about it. It's two things actually. One, about 10 years ago, there was a city council member who called a member of the public the N-word.
Oh, really?
And that started this whole shit show of why they say the N-word, swear. And really it's to say that why should any of them have the power to say what words are right and allowed and not? That's literally the whole point of the First Amendment. It's people should be able to figure out what the heck they want to say rather than some government official telling you. That's like the book 1984.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. That's literally what you don't want. So that's the origin story. People don't understand it. Herman himself has also been called racial slurs by council members, and so it's just this snowball effect, right? It's just a snowball effect. It's being a pain in the ass, really, but that's the origin story, and most people don't understand that. And I mean, Kevin De Leon literally was sued for shitloads of racial slurs on another person and got his ass handed to him in court. And so this isn't like a one-off thing. The slurs and swearing, he says, might sound ridiculous, but now you see why he's being such a pain in the ass. If I were to come up to anybody on the street, or especially at an official government meeting, and just start cussing off the worst racial slurs to you, guaranteed my ass would have been dragged out, and likely, if nobody else was recording, definitely fucking beaten. There's no doubt about that. It's a fucking guarantee. And so it's just ridiculous for any of them to tell you what's right to say.
Yeah, it's hypocrisy.
And to be able to then just shoot off the cuff like that, it's insane. There was a vote earlier this week on the union bill for raising minimum wage.
Yeah, they didn't pass. Right?
So here's the most interesting part about that. It was specific to one union for hotel workers that he's a part of, not for all tourist and hotel workers. It was specific to his union, not all hotel and tourism workers. His union. That's not fair and equitable wages.
No.
I'm doing a union a favor because they have major big money pockets, and I have the power to let a developer continue to run the city. That's what that was. And so I'm not surprised that it didn't pass.
Right.
That's textbook definition, special interest group, painted to make it seem like it's for every tourist and hotel worker, and it's not. She's new, Isabel. I think those are the two ones, Nazarian and Isabel.
Do you sit in on a lot of these?
I do. So I have a major beef with the city, specifically on one big issue. There's a lot I go on. I reported on a lot of scandals on the city, but
What do you do?
So my real job is I'm a software developer.
Okay.
My side gig is that I catch a lot of local government corruption. Nobody talks about what's going on in
The local
city level government. You got the LA Times talking about state level shit, and honestly, who cares? There's a whole bunch of places that already do that. But the city is so fucking corrupt. It's a goddamn shit show here, and it's because nobody reports on it. I mean, I'll give you a perfect fucking example. This dude, again, Hugo, he William Good, who's known as Film the Police LA, from a public hearing where he was discussing the budgets last weekend.
Okay.
Public hearing, you're entitled to show up,
Yeah.
make your voice heard. He talked for about 10-15 minutes and then he opened it to the people and asked, all right, what questions you got? Fucking tried trespassing. Will said, you're on private property. He's like, this is a fucking public hearing. What are you talking about? Threatened arrest. Ultimately, Will said, fuck you, you're letting me in. They let him in. And then wouldn't allow him to ask questions. So, oh, that's too good of a question. He was asking about, why don't you talk more about homelessness?
Yeah.
And where the money for the Inside Safe program is going. Gets fucking kicked out. That's like barely scratching the surface. Like, the fucking rabbit hole is so much deeper than that. And the real story of LA, at the end of the day, is that all the money that has been said to go for eradicating homelessness and poverty, it's getting funneled through nonprofits to be laundered so that it lines the pockets of Mayor Karen Bass's special interests.
Right.
There's literally been fucking hundreds of billions of dollars burned at the hands of Bass. There should be no fucking reason for why LA, just the city, not even the county, which literally has the GDP of 20 fucking states combined, should be over $1 billion in debt and financial crisis.
Right. No, 100%.
You literally have everything here, bro. You got entertainment, you got fucking tech, medicine, you got fucking academic research, oil and gas, you got fucking everything in LA. There's no goddamn reason, unless there's fucking shitloads of city corruption, and that's the real story. And nobody reports on that shit.
Well, it's our first one, so we'll see you in there. We'll see how it goes.
It's
we're in it for
a
positive.
it's a great thing to go and just sit in. That's the story. That's the big issue. This committee is responsible at the city level for being, if you've seen people get like financial advisors, they're the one that entrusted to make sure that all the money that's allocated for any homelessness shit, period, has the utmost transparency, that it's being audited by the controller as well as third parties. All those books are open, all the names of the businesses are open, how much money they're getting for each and every service. That's literally not fucking happening. Literally, Mayor Karen Bass is telling the city controller to go kick rocks. She will not relent. So that's the story. I hope, like I said, man, it's a great place to be, just to see it live. You're gonna see millions of dollars fly right before your eyes. Those are your dollars, by the way.
Yeah.
Those are my dollars. That's not magic money.
No, it's not.
Every hour of work you put in, being taken right now, is being burned in that committee. So, but I'm glad you guys are here. I've met a couple other college kids that came by. Met a couple other folks that were like pre-law too, and it's a great place if you want to learn how to be a criminal and hopefully do the exact opposite.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was a pleasure. We'll see you in there.
Yeah, for sure. It's open now. You can hang out in there. I'll introduce you to the two cops. I talk to these guys all the time. And what they do is, if you ever wanted to speak, the way it works is you show up, there's a giant tablet. You can just type in, you don't have to type in your real name, you can just type in your first name. You just sign up to speak, click on the committee, and then you can just click one of those, type your name in, click submit, and that enters you into a little cue card they have there. And then you just take one of these, you can read through it if you want. This has the agenda.
Oh, the agenda.
Yeah. And after you sign up here, that's how they call your name up when it's time. So the way it works is every meeting is the same. They start off by taking attendance of who the council members are. Then they go to public comment. And that's where they call people up. You usually get about 3 minutes total to talk. You go and say your thing, next person goes. Once that's over, then they just deliberate on each of the items. And that's it. You now have a full crash course. Yeah. Did Duarte leave? No. Where's he at? Hiding. Oh, man. Listen, I want you to be nice to them. These are college kids. They are here to attend and see how criminals, I mean how the council does its business. I want you to be very nice to them. Don't get smart now.
We're at GCC.
I walked them through how.
Here for regular council.
Sorry?
Too bad you weren't here for regular council.
No.
That's where all the action happens.
Yeah.
Where dreams are made. And hearts are broken.
There's always one of the, so they meet 3 times a week, but usually it's the middle, like the one they have the second time of the week, where all of the people that show up to vote on a specific item, like today it was some other union that showed up to vote on a particular item, and they'll have like fucking hundreds of people. But the one first thing in the week, nobody shows up.
No.
And that's the perfect time to get your shit in. Annoyingly enough, man, they used to take all of our comments virtually. So all the camera shit here, it still works just as well. They even have, just like you probably use Zoom for school, same shit. You can dial in to listen by Zoom. They told the public, go kick rocks, we're not gonna take your comments over Zoom anymore. You gotta show up in person. One of my very good friends, she's disabled, she's a paraplegic, and she can't make it out in person. It's the stupidest fucking thing. Imagine, you can still to this day literally sign on the Zoom app to listen, but they're like, we're not gonna take your comment over Zoom. It's stupid. All it takes is clicking one little button to unmute you and saying, all right, you have 3 minutes, make your comment. But that's the level of fuckery you're dealing with at the city. So.
Yeah, something.
So tell me why the mayor's office, right? I'm going over there. I had it printed just like this. I have a complaint letter. I'm going to hand it to you. I just want you to stamp it as received. Very easy thing. I already did it at the clerk. I already did it at the upstairs office where the council members are. And I'm like, now it's your turn. I'm going to give you the same complaint letter. We don't take complaint letters. It might have drugs in it. There was an emergency situation.
This is the moment in front.
Yeah. And I did one of these. I was like, no drugs.
Well, you know, it could be in the lettering, it could be in the paper. You know, whatever their reasoning is why, but don't know what to tell you on that.
Here's the funniest part, though. I said, what if you give me, she said, we can give you one of our own papers for you to write your complaint in. I said, okay. What if part of my complaint is to see attached exhibits? She said, well, we don't have anything against that. And I was like, all right, here you go.
She was honest.
But then she said, we can't accept that. I was like, I think we have an agreement here.
We have an agreement to disagree.
Exactly.
It is what it is.
It was a damn good complaint, though. It was about the year of them pushing you guys to do this whole nonsense of, well, tell them we didn't call XYZ names and tell them there's only so many minutes. Well, actually, we're going to change the rules. Well, actually, what we're going to do is blah, 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 blah. And the name randomizer that they say exists, allegedly.
Well, you're one of many who talk about that.
Yep. But the only one that actually formally submits a written letter on legal pleading
Oh, no, you're
paper.
not the only one. I'm sure I know a few people. Actually, today we're going to file some sort of complaint because a lot of people came in early, and then at the last minute, some other people that belong to a certain organization came in, and their names were called right away. And they're like, "That's this."
That's viewpoint, yeah, that's viewpoint suppression.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily, but it runs, in my estimation, but it runs similar to that.
Yeah, well, it's the inconsistencies. It's not that they're mandated to have a consistent, but it's the inconsistencies that's the issue.
Yeah.
That's the legal argument. And that's exactly what I said in my complaint letter, that
Yeah.
I'm not saying you don't have the right to limit time periods and when you call them, but it's your inconsistent practices and who you're saying can and can't. And sometimes saying you have way more leverage now, other times you just completely can't do that. Can't do that.
What they should do is let us pick, and that way we can say, everyone sit down. Okay, this row, go.
Be easy.
Pick a number. Each pew is numbered,
Yeah.
and then I'll have you pick out of a number, out of a hat. Row pew 20. The only problem is that someone from pew 1 who's already spoken might want to go into another pew, and it's like, no, you already spoke.
Right, right. That's yeah. That stuff can be caught, but yeah, I think.
Or, so and so, okay, so and so, so and so.
You know.
But again, then you got to go back to speaker cards,
I know.
and that's more time consuming and wasteful than doing it here. So, you
Yeah.
know, you're trying to save trees, you're trying to save paperwork, and so it's trying to figure
Yeah.
out what's the best way.
All I'm asking is I want to see the randomizer in action.
Oh, you're not the only one.
Yeah, I want to see it in action. I will get to see it. I guarantee you at some point I will get to see it. Or what I'll get is the city blatantly telling a judge, we're not going to show it to you how we suppress or destroy public comment, but it's a tacit admission that we do, in fact, do just that.
Without admitting.
Yeah, right, right,
It's like that saying, tell me you're this without telling me you're this.
right. That's exactly what it is.
But we don't put ourselves in that position because realistically, it'd be nice to go back to the old ways, meaning that nothing was preventing people from going up to the mic. Just call your name, you get in line, and then go.
Just do your thing.
Without us having to be this, they call your name, what's your name, it adds
Yeah.
to our responsibility.
Well, they're doing what's called CYA, cover your ass. And so they're trying to put you in a position that you never wanted to be in, never should be in. And it's not your job, quite frankly. It literally isn't your job. Like, I don't know how much more straightforward to the point you can be. It's literally not your job, bro. And that's the pain in the butt I have, because I know for a fact that it's Heidi telling them to tell the city attorney deputy that's sitting there, to tell the clerk, to then do their little backhanded shit, come to you, and then put pressure on you, and then everybody has egg on their face, and it's just a stupid look.
For me, the way they made it easier before, they call only a limited number of meetings. Usually if it's not very crowded, 3 at a time. So it's very easy to say, hey, hello sir, how are you doing today? It's very easy to say, hey, 3 names are called, I got 10 people in line.
Yeah.
That's not gonna work.
Right.
Unfortunately, the way they do it now, they cut 3 at a time. Before I let anyone, they may go get the names and then boom. But it adds to the time for public comment.
Yeah.
That gets taken away.
Right.
And so, whereas before, if 3 people come in, I'm not gonna ask them their name because that's not my job.
It's not
I'll
at all.
say, hey, was your name called? Yes. Okay. There you go.
That's it.
There you go.
Yep. Yep.
I certainly don't want to be the reason, the main reason, because if I do everything that I'm doing and it was on my own, then I would be in violation of the Brown Act,
Right.
and I would be personally
Right.
responsible for it. I'm like, no, that's no.
Yeah. Well, it shouldn't even be a reason that at all that you're involved in any of that. You shouldn't have any
Only when
liability.
they don't want to leave that podium, it's time to go.
Right. That's the only time. Right.
If people act up in there, okay, it's time to go.
Right.
Or make an arrest if some type of
Right.
crime occurs.
Right. And that's why I say they're doing the whole cover their ass and
Well, that was installed because of the issue with the, as I like to say, extreme mini January 6th. It was right around the time of 4118 and also when Nuri was recorded and along with De Leon and whatnot. People were, when it was just here, people were literally pushing aside the pew. This one big transgender woman, man, she literally lifted off the anchors on the bottom.
That's
and
nuts.
moved it, and people, she created space where people are trying to get in. It's like, no.
Right.
People did get on the other side, and then that's when we made arrests and stuff like that.
Yep. Were you there for the
What's up?
whole Richie debacle, Richie Sergienko,
Here?
when he was arrested?
Yeah. I'm the one he pushed away. Initially, right here. It's on my body worn.
Yeah. I had a feeling.
He boxed me out. It clearly showed that. You clearly see that on the video.
Yeah.
You see him running to right here and then do that. That's why he didn't really fight it.
Well, yeah, that was a
There's
stupid case.
There's too much video that clearly showed.
That particularly was a stupid case. Yes.
And at that moment, I think he let his emotions get the best of him because he's not a stupid guy.
No, correct. But it was a stupid moment.
We all have those. We're human.
Yeah.
You know, talking and screaming, whatever. Hello, sir. How you doing? So far, so good. So far, so good. You know, I'm used to being screamed and yelled at
Yeah.
And that was prior to the joke. So when people are screaming, yelling, and telling me stuff, I'm like, okay, tell me something I haven't heard.
All right.
You know, I've told people that you need to be a little bit more agitated in your insults. 'Cause I've heard better from you.
Go to a construction site, guaranteed you hear funnier and better stuff.
Yeah, come on.
Okay, welcome. We have another exciting meeting. Today is Wednesday, May 21st. I have my colleague, Councilmember Ferraro, here with me today. Mr. Ferraro, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Robin.
I am here.
Councilmember Harrod.
Here.
Councilmember Blumenfield, absent. Two members and a quorum, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to talk about quickly the items that are on the agenda. Item 1 is a CAO report on improving outreach coordination by in the city. And I'm going to suggest that given some of our time constraints that we continue this item to our next meeting and have it reflect, hopefully have our discussion reflect the decisions that come out of the budget committee here tomorrow. Item 2 is a CLA report about the CES. Item 3 is a CAO report on contracts with tenant outreach and education services as part of the city's REAP program.
They canceled the
Item
public
4
safety.
is a
They canceled public safety thing,
for
yeah.
affordable housing project.
And you signed up to public speaking.
Yeah.
Item 5 is
Yeah.
LHC report about submitting site control confirmation letters that's related to the Affordable Housing and Sustainable Communities Program. Item 6 is authorizing $160,000 funding for the closeout process for a 33-bed tiny home village in CD5. Item 7 is the fourth quarterly report from the CAO on the city's homelessness emergency declaration. And item 8 is a mid-year funding and reconciliation report that includes funding recommendations that reflect the bed rate increase to $80 a night and $116 a night for the number of beds. And welcome Mr. Blumenfield. At this time, let's move to public comment. Anybody who wishes to make public comment after our city attorney, Mr. Custodios, given our questions, just move to the right-hand side, and the sergeant will help you make your way to the podium.
You know why Audit's not here? No, issues with her chair.
What?
Issue with her chair.
She was having them, was it related to the battery? Yeah, she was having issues about a week and a half.
It's ongoing.
That sucks.
All I'm going to be talking about is virtual public comment. It should just be a thing. It was a thing.
They instituted it due to COVID, and they then chose to get rid of it. The only other meeting that has it is city planning, citywide planning commission.
Plum.
No,
Or, yeah, you're talking the planning land. Yeah, commission, yeah.
they still have it.
Well, Board of Public Works does it.
Oh, they do?
Disability Commission does it. Transportation does it.
All right, go for it, sir.
All right, thank you. Yes, just wanted to clarify for time, is it 2 minutes total?
Depends on what you're talking about. What items are you commenting?
General and all items?
Okay, you have how many minutes? Yeah, 2 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. You can start with the items and then move to general public comment. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So starting off with item number 1, we have a reach out to homelessness. One of the issues with this item is that I don't see a way where, how can you possibly capture the voice of some of the constituents that are very likely homeless, very likely also disabled. Those are most often comorbid, and they might not be able to physically make it here on time. I know this committee, as well as several other city committees, has in fact taken virtual public comment for quite an extended period of time, and then just like that, out of nowhere, decided to put a kibosh on it. It's not right. You are 100% discriminating against an entire group and population of people that you're supposed to be serving in the first place. How is it that you have all the video conferencing equipment here, you literally live stream the damn event, people can literally join on Zoom, yet you won't click the damn button to allow them to insert virtual public comment? There's no additional Zoom license necessary. There's no additional fees on your end. There's no additional staffing you need. It's a very simple thing to actually do for your constituents. Very, very simple. City Council used to do it. In fact, many other city committees to this day do it. Board of Public Works, Disability Commission.
What item are you speaking on?
I'm speaking right now on the fact that item number 4 on CD 13, how are you capturing the voices of the ADA community to give public comment to that point right now? How is it that they can show up as a representative constituents for which this committee is supposed to represent, yet you are not allowing them an alternative method to voice their public comment? You have to spend your money to park and then even have transportation to get to that point. With that, I'll go ahead and move over to general public comment. Again, why the ever-loving heck is this committee not giving virtual public comment? I have written to the mayor, I have written to the city council president, I have written to the city attorney's office, in addition to the repeated Brown Act violations for various city committees on viewpoint suppression, and all manner of inconsistencies with how they hold their open meetings and who they allow to be called and who they don't. And using the LAPD officers to do your dirty work instead of going and doing your actual job and using the clerk as you're supposed to call names. All they're supposed to do is if somebody is rowdy in the room and kick them out. They're not supposed to do your dirty work. You're covering your own asses, and the best thing you can honestly do instead of all that nonsense is simply open up a virtual public comment. Again, it's a very easy thing. It doesn't cost you anything. I know all the assets and about the 5 rooms that you guys hold public meetings in. You don't need any more pieces of equipment. You don't need any more licenses. Everything is there. Open up the damn virtual public comment again. Thank you.
Next speaker, Madam. What items are you speaking on today?
Number 1, general public comment.
Okay, you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general public comment.
All right, thank you. I see that that's motion.
I gotta talk to you. I got to you.
Glad that we're talking about it.
I gotta talk to you
Yeah,
after.
a little bit, but just thinking about the duplication of services that's mentioned in there. And I don't know if listening, so I can probably talk about whatever I want. Did you see that game last night? Yeah, when I think about outreach and Skid Row to homeless people, I'm thinking about Operation Healthy Streets, these metal signs that have been in existence for years and years and years and years, or these wide swaths of maps that people are supposed to understand. They're supposed to guess when the city's going to pop up and throw away their shit. This morning, in fact, on this little pocket of a little map on one of these metal signs where they haven't come, that I've seen in years, they popped up to take down a dude and give him 10 minutes. He's been there for 3 days. And they said, well, you know, this is a regular schedule. Come on, you have 10 minutes to move your stuff. He moved one bag and they started trashing all of his stuff. He had only been on that street for 3 days because he had gotten a 4118 ticket, like 6 blocks away, and was just trying to find somewhere safe. Unfortunately, when people stay too close to a major thoroughfare like Central, they are targeted. This guy is very vulnerable. He's undocumented, and he's just trying to talk to him this morning, like offer what little I have to offer. And he's just like, I'm moving up. I'm going to the train station and I'm going to Montana. And I feel like this is the outcome that this council is looking for. I think particularly with Operation Healthy Streets, there needs to be some accountability with sanitation and the cops that do Operation Healthy Streets with CD14, knowing where they're going to go so that they can actually come out and talk to this group beforehand and warn him that this is going to happen and offer what there is to be offered rather than just seeing the outcome that being fucked by Operation Healthy Streets every day of the week.
You know why audit's not here, right? You know why audit isn't, right? Because of fucking wheelchair problems.
Yeah, you gotta tell,
Yeah, she's got the little one, the
No,
big one.
with that.
The big one's broken.
Yeah, with that though. With one that's supposed to be the good one. She's supposed to get her new one today, but
Yeah, because that old one ain't kept. The old one sucks.
They need to open up virtual public comment, man. They really do.
It hasn't been fixed.
It's only three committees that don't do it. Public safety, this one, and council. Every other one does. It's crazy. Ethics does it. Board of Public Works does it. Disability Commission does it. Planning does it. Even DOT does it. Yeah, they meet on Google Meets. Yep.
That's why two directors, Peter Perry is a good friend of mine, and so was Mike. And they just both got up and left, right, because of this. But and now when I go to talk about my children's comment, it's ready to back to agenda item 1. It's the one, somebody being good neighbors on Skid Row. Right, they get all these new dollars, building all these buildings and stuff, and now they own the whole Skid Row. Now they got 120 people in the buildings, 15,000 residents on Skid Row. You know, then they put illegal prayer boxes all on the sidewalk, having signs that talk about you power watching 12 hours a day from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's illegal power watching sidewalk anywhere. They cut the homes out our bicycle lanes. So we had a campaign called Ride for Justice to bring bicycle lanes to Skid Row. Like 3 years campaign, right? White guys just come and just cut the white safety cones off. Right, just so they could have their delivery trucks and shit close to all the drive the building like that. Then on top of that, they removed the bus stop. So the bus stop ain't there no more. So you got all these women with strollers trying to go to the University of Michigan 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. The bus taking them all the way down the meter. They got to walk all the way back up.
Thank you so much, Peter.
Who else is speaking? Wayne, you speaking? Wayne, you speaking? Because otherwise, you're gonna miss your comment if you don't come up right now. You're gonna miss your comment, dude. You gotta hurry up.
Yeah, it's all.
Sounds general.
You gotta
Still have a
hurry.
minute of general.
No, he took both.
You gotta hurry up, dude. No, he already went.
Yeah, he took both.
What?
He already went.
Oh, we already.
Yeah.
We're gonna cancel
yeah.
you, dude, because you're you're Wayne. You know, get up there. Hasn't been a Wayne sign for a long
I'm
time.
not able to provide one, but I'll have staff come over and speak with you. Thank you very much. Next speaker, your name and the items you're speaking on. Thank you.
So you see me still stealing. I thought Judge God told you to stop stealing our goddamn tax money, but that's what did the arraignment do. No, you still go on the money. All these so-called non-profit experiences, still with the same chance, still with the same people doing the same crime. You called your office about that G, that white G with that crazy woman, that dog, and you won't give her some housing. Don't I call you every week? Peter, what item are you? What? What item? What do you mean with that? Where are you speaking? I said experiencing homelessness motion. Which one is that, fool? You don't even read your agenda. You know why? You can't read, Bob. They can't read.
This is not, the subject of our literacy is not on today's
Yes,
agenda.
assholes, it is. Because all of these motions are about experiences
Can we
with
move to
these
general
homeless
public comment? This
criminals.
isn't about any particular agenda.
All
So you're
these
moving to your general public comment, go ahead, you have 1 minute.
Look at this, Bob. Look what she does, Bob. Why you think they're happy, Bob? You're on the budget committee, Bob. You're on the budget committee, because, Bob, they fund outside counsel for lawsuits. You're going to get a good one real soon. Real fucking soon. It's going to be something you never thought of in your life. You never thought of what the fuck my mind is going to create on a piece of paper. No! I want you to keep doing what you're doing. You're adding up the scorecard in favor of my team. That's all I want you to do, because gets soon gonna find out what a search warrant is, like this Louise. You know why? Because she's stealing money and laundering it into nonprofits and not providing the services she promised us. That's why. And now,
Okay, thank you, your time is up. Any other speakers? If there's other speakers, okay. That's it, more today.
I get 2 minutes on the budget committee.
Your time is
Go
up.
down, it's up there for me.
That all of you
You're
motherfuckers have to stop blocking
Good.
access to City Hall so we can
Let's go, Wayne.
Finley, your time is up.
Let's go, Wayne. Let's go, Wayne.
What is this bullshit?
Let's go.
What? You need cops from the move. You need police officers to do your dirty work. Where's your N-word band? I put the $10,000 in his hand.
I hope they tell him that.
Where is it, Bob? Some of your colleagues signed it, they didn't remember, but it's in my band.
Okay, let's move on to our items. As I recommended earlier, I am going to suggest that we take item one. We continue item one until next week. And ideally have both, I would hope to have both LASA and the county here to speak to that item. I'm going to recommend that we vote on items.
10 lawsuits, $2 billion stolen.
Yeah, okay, Mr. Spindler, you've been warned. If you continue to make noise, you will be asked to leave. If that's
Bob, you don't want me to leave. I just got here. Tell me, Bob, don't you want
So I'm giving you an official warning. If you continue to speak, you'll be asked to leave the chambers. Okay, I'm going to suggest that we take items 3, 4, and 6 on consent unless there's any objections, and we will continue item 1 to next week. Any objections? Okay, great, Mr. Brown. Call the roll. Yes.
You know, for what it's worth, the N-word thing, you know, Kevin DeLeon did the same shit about 15 years ago too. There's another council member that called a member of the public the N-word. That's why Herman is such a pain in the ass with it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I fully agree
I was
with
here
it.
when
I fucking support what he does.
I was here when that was created. That whole story very good.
Yeah.
But in honesty, it wasn't Weezer who instigated it. It was the residents in the area that reached out to Weezer's office. Weezer just assisted the residents.
So you ate it in a bed.
Obama was doing some, I don't even remember, some type of nuisance shit. Some type of nuisance shit. He was doing something. And
Some abatement related shit.
they came and petitioned to the council member to do something, and the council member aided in trying to help the neighbors. And that's how, and then from there it went downhill. That was the beginning of the end.
Oh man.
That was almost 12 years, 13 years.
Yeah.
13 years ago. And then he started coming here.
We have recommendations
And we've
in
seen
the
all the
report
different versions
that
of
aims
it.
to improve the system generally and to reduce any delay in.
Well, you're gonna get a kick out of this. I was at the mayor's office. I was trying to give her my complaint on the Brown Act violations, on the inconsistencies of calling names, using you guys as a pawn. So it's not a lawsuit, it's just a complaint letter, right? It will be a lawsuit, but I'm just trying to do my part, check all the boxes.
Yeah, bringing it to their attention.
I just simply went there and I said, I got some papers, I'm not here to serve you anything, I'm just here to hand it, and shit you not, the lady at the front desk said, we have a policy that we don't accept paper anymore. There might be drugs in the paper. And I'm like,
Anthrax.
did one of these, I was like, no drugs.
You might It might be anthrax.
And I told her, that's if it's an envelope, right? She's like, well, yes, technically, we don't accept envelopes. And I was like, and I said,
Yeah,
you have a complaint form there. She said, we can give you this. And I said, I'll take the complaint form, and what if I put C attached on the complaint form? She's like, well, we don't have a rule for that. And so I did just that. I slapped it on the desk. Thank you, good night. Goofiest thing I've ever seen today. And I've seen a lot of goofy shit.
yeah, they don't accept anything anymore. They used to. They don't do it anymore. They never reverted back during the height of 9/11 stuff and all that. They've never reverted back to kind of normalcy, to kind of policy.
Well, that's the hard part. Then it becomes, so the letters I did mail out, which were via certified mail on sealed envelopes, does that mean that my service is null and void when the courts still accept certified mail as a legitimate form of service? Does the mayor's office get a higher authority over the judicial system?
They changed their policies, bro. Yeah, it's funny. They changed it. It's weird.
Yeah.
Is it really hot outside like they said it is?
No, it's not. It's really not.
It's not hot. It's just normal.
Yeah, it's just normal.
Everybody was freaking out. It's basically 80. Which is
Man, you're talking to people that their whole world revolves around Amazon shopping, Instagram, likes, and this is not reality. This is the land of make-believe.
yeah, it's all fake shit.
This is all a dream. And the biggest dream, frankly, as somebody that comes from New York, where racial tensions are nowhere near as high as here.
Oh no.
The whole identity politics and identity war, where you have to fit in a certain label, and if you're not part of that group, then you can't be part of this group.
Here, they're fucking out of their minds.
It's utterly nuts.
I've been fed up with it, dude, because now it's gotten to the point where it's like tipped to the scale. Now it's just like, really?
It makes everything else worse.
It's like, does everybody have to be somebody? Just be part of human.
Yeah.
One guy, you're a guy. That's it.
That's
I
it.
don't give a shit what your background is, where you come from. I don't care. I don't care.
Literally
Just
nobody.
be, dude. I really
Yes.
don't. I mean, maybe if you have some food from your country, I'm a food.
I would fucking love to bring some Albanian food.
Yeah, I'm a food connoisseur, so that's what I like. I like the international food. That's good.
Mediterranean style food. Yeah, Mediterranean's great.
Yeah, stuff like that. But
Yeah, I come here with peace offerings, man.
yeah.
That's all it is. I'm trying to do it the right way. I am not above the law. I did it.
You did time in Folsom?
No, I didn't do time for shit. Heidi was trying to get me to do time. That was a fucking crazy case. I literally have her.
Oh, yeah, they're gonna reopen it for you.
Just
when you went to visit.
That's true.
He's not gonna.
Nah.
That's gonna cost way too much money. Oh, you were being charged with.
So get this, right?
Quick question.
Never got one.
So I will say that there are no
He wasn't ejected.
These are generally how the changes are just what last time I presented. And this was attached to my report, the events that have had, and said that they have this.
We're like the two stooges over here. Oh, you should see Bob. He does the little like.
And how.
If you catch it just right, I've caught him several times. I have shorts on YouTube. It's literally just him dozing off.
So look, some of these are so long though. I just wonder how they even go.
Yeah. But yeah, I was charged. It was 100% a political prosecution. It was the dumbest thing.
But it was all rejected. It never went to trial.
Here's how it happened. You know what on the easement, the public easement, where it's public property. Over on North Catalina, intersecting West Sunset, North Catalina, and Fountain, they had Scientology put up these literally like these $10 plastic Home Depot netting that they blocked off the entire easement. Yep.
Oh, easement. It's not even an easement. It's a walkway.
It's a walkway, yeah.
Okay.
Here's the problem. They never had any Type R permits. Ever.
Yeah, which you can't do that.
Even worse, 4 cops responded that day, and all I did, I didn't even cut it, I didn't destroy it, and there was about 6 other people with me doing the same thing. All we did, pulled the stakes up out of the ground, once we pulled them all out, we pushed it to one little corner so that it wasn't blocking anything. Prosecuted. Criminal misdemeanor vandalism.
You just moved it. That's fucking stupid. That shit, even if they didn't arrest you, that shit's cite and release.
I never was arrested. The 4 cops that showed up, all from Northeast, literally on video admitted, no laws are wrong, we're not going to arrest you. They were called there on a personal line under color of law.
PPA, they want to do a private person's arrest.
And they said they wouldn't either.
Yeah. Some people demand that.
Well,
No way, dude.
they straight up said we're not doing this.
Yeah. Another attempt to use this for their bullshit.
Ishmael Peinado, detective over Northeast, outright admitted on his own report that there was no evidence submitted of any vandalism that happened. Scientology couldn't provide proof of ownership, couldn't provide proof of damages. This dude then took it upon himself to write a subsequent police report stating that I had committed assault and was physically violent. Fucking literally never happened.
The whole thing was fake.
Fucking.
And he can't prove shit. All it does is goes down as a documented case.
He signed it under penalty of perjury because he wanted an arrest, and he did commit perjury. He fucked up.
Yeah.
He fucked up
Technically.
big time. And all the 4 cops that showed up, like I said, under discovery, it was proven. They did not come there. There was no registered CAD log. There was no registered incident report. They showed up, all 4 of them. Barajas, Galindo, Garcia, another guy I think is Marcos. I have it all on video.
Wow, no shit.
And that's the whole reason
That's when it started.
that I was trying to see if the city would do some dumb shit like that. And I knew that was the perfect fucking incident for it. Because I was the only one prosecuted. 4 cops showed up, said, fuck this.
Yeah.
No arrests. A detective outright lied that I had assaulted somebody.
What the?
And I walked away with no criminal history, no convictions, no fines. That's the fucking textbook definition of malicious prosecution.
Yeah. Pretty much. Did you argue them? Because sometimes
That's
you do
the
that.
point now. That's at the point now. Yes.
I'm not sure it's a civil. I'm not sure if it's like a civil rights violation.
Yes.
What do they call it? It's like an unlawful, not so much unlawful arrest. It's more like it's a violation of your rights.
Yep.
But there was no real detainment. There might have been a detainment to investigate, but holding you against your will, depending for how much time, all
Yeah.
that stuff has to be.
Yeah, and I knew they were bullshitting, the first 2 guys, Garcia and Galindo, Fernando Galindo, that showed up, because they never said I was detained, I was moving about freely. It was clear that it was an entirely voluntary interaction, and I wanted to film it. But this moron, Galindo, couldn't help himself, because he was obviously contacted again. He did circles about 30 minutes later, showed up, circled the block, was threatening to just arrest me. Out of nowhere. He's like, we can arrest you, right? And I didn't answer him. I just let him speak. And I asked him, do you know what a PPA is? He said, if anybody asks us for an arrest, we have to make it. And I said, how long have you been on the force? He's like, 10 years. I was like, you're stupid. That's not how a PPA works. You should know better. It's not at all how it works. And then he drove off after that.
I mean, it used to. It depends what year. Many years ago, they did change it recently, but they used to, which was really bad. And what we had to do was, we did have to, I guess you could say, effect an arrest. We we'd have to transport to you to the station.
To be
Tell
booked.
the watch commander basically that this is a batter ass. Watch commander gives approval for immediate release at the station. But that's a lot. You know, you're handcuffed, you're transported. I mean, woof.
Yeah.
That's a lot of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's no good. I'm happy as hell when they changed that law.
It should be at your discretion.
Saying
It's
that we
just,
don't have to do it no more.
yeah.
Oh no, they said now we don't have to do it because if the arrest does not meet the criteria, we don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we still have to write up an incident report.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, then you can.
Yeah, that there was an interaction.
Yeah. Yeah, and just like
Simple way of.
But she does this. This is what Heidi's life consists of.
she's up. She's supposed to be
For re-election.
re-election. Yeah, she's gonna throw her name back in the pot.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy, dude. Why would you
Units
want
for
that
which,
job?
which units of PSH
This isn't even about the fact that it was a divorce, but her divorce case, she was the same patterns on just vexatious litigation were exhibited there. She issued over 400 subpoenas on people she thought were scamming her out of money she was entitled to. She got sanctioned.
Oh wow.
$250,000 fucking dollars. The judge said, you're out of your fucking mind. Who are you to go and issue all these frivolous subpoenas? Some of these people are outright dead, and none of this shit has anything to do with what you're doing. She burned through, I can't even count how many law firms. She is in fact indeed permanently banned from planet Earth on every Citibank, period. There was it was 1,217 pages of a declaration that Citibank wrote explaining how utterly fucking nuts and how cumbersome and burdensome she was being, undemanding, ad nauseum, basically every record from Citibank, regardless if it had anything to do with her divorce or not, just to make it a fucking point. She screwed her ex-husband's assets up by preventing him from pulling money out of his retirement funds as a result of dragging the case on because he couldn't pull from his assets. She pulled from the community fund when the judge told her not to. She said, fuck you, I'm gonna do it anyway.
allocations for interim housing clients.
She's legitimately only has herself to blame. I'm not, and here's the best part. I attended the Sherman Oaks Homeowner Association event, public meeting. She didn't know my face, but I went and interviewed her, and I didn't even mention myself first. I asked, you know, there's this woman Audit LA, do you know anything about her? She attends neighborhood council meetings. And then she just went on. It was clear that she knew who I was and I was on top of her mind. She talked about my case ad nauseum and literally admitted that she knew it was never a priority, it was always frivolous, and that it was going to go to diversion. And I was like, thank you. You have an ethical duty and a legal responsibility if it's a fucking shit case to drop it. And you didn't. She dragged it on for a year. June 16th, 2024 was when the incident happened. My case was finally gone up on May 3rd, 2024. When have you ever heard of a stupid vandalism case, misdemeanor, going on that long? Literally, I made history on that case.
No, there's no evidence.
None whatsoever.
It's insane. I've had bigger cases fall out from nothing being, what do they call it? Not discharged, but dismissed. I mean, where they don't even last 3 months.
Right. Yeah. And the shitty thing with LA specifically is the local court rules here is that you don't get a probable cause hearing for your misdemeanor.
No.
There's no review of Texas, Massachusetts, a couple other states. Yeah, but here, yeah, it's nuts. That burns so much court time because it's a bunch of cases in limbo.
Yeah.
A bunch of resources from the public defender's office, the prosecutor's office, compiling records that they otherwise should be focusing on more pertinent cases, but they have to. They have to give equal time to all this crap, and it's dumb.
Yeah.
building, but however, we
And this is what she does.
um,
Every day, every waking moment, this is all Heidi does. I was honestly surprised she knew my fucking name outright. Because another time Will confronted her in public at the, what was it, the Palmdale Springs Neighborhood Council meeting. And he was like, you need to drop the case against Henry Marini. And she's like, I don't know him. And he's like, yeah, you do. And yeah, she did.
Hey Manny, who's going home?
Times living in our housing,
Who's going home?
in the same spot where we
And where is the fair housing rule? Why?
I'm good.
Where is that?
Yeah, cause I'm good. My wife's gonna be busy.
Why is it subject to fair housing? Why?
So either one of you two.
Because it's funded from.
Yeah.
So now you know the story.
Yeah.
That's the full story. It really is just that simple.
Well, luckily it's not any worse. Luckily it's a misdemeanor story, dude. It's not a big bad felony story.
Yeah.
It's a misdemeanor story.
Well, listen, I've got.
What is the
And that's not.
I'm not.
a battle
Yeah.
story.
what is the mattress?
It's.
You gotta make something up.
Well, that's the worst part of it all, right? It's like my record, honestly, is way cleaner than even Heidi's record. Like, I've literally worked and had top secret clearance because I made weapons for the DoD.
What the hell?
Yes.
What are you, military?
What does it look like now?
No.
Is it a-
No,
You
no,
had a clearance through the, there's very few private companies where you need it.
no. You work for an aerospace company.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What is that?
Depending on what section you work
Yeah.
in. I knew a guy who worked
I
on the B-2
don't know
bomber.
if I
He
have,
wasn't allowed to say anything other than that.
Yeah.
That was it.
And it's like,
He didn't say shit.
I think she just saw, and she does see people like audit, and everybody else is a fucking moron. And it's like, I'm really fucking not. So, all right, man, I gotta head out. I'll
Okay,
see
brother.
ya.
Yeah, me too. I gotta get some coffee with you. I'll
Take
fall
care.
asleep.
Yeah, yeah. Yes. I'll be here on Friday for the council meeting.
There's gonna be a shit ton of presentation coming. 12
Really?
noon, dude.
12 noon?
Otherwise, you're gonna watch nothing but the show.
Okay.
Well, I don't know about that because
Yeah, 12 noon.
you might not even be letting.
But that would be tens of thousands of people, right?
Fine.
Well, that is true, but we have 5 presentations.
Okay. And they're gonna take them at the beginning,
If you
right?
like the Navy, though, the Navy, they got a good one.
Fleet Week.
Fleet Week.
Oh, okay.
That's a good one. And the other ones are 2 high schools.
Yeah, Verdugo and Westchester.
And then the other ones,
I don't remember what the other 2 are.
but dude,
One doctor and then that was it.
Yeah.
bring your breakfast burrito, dude, because you ain't gonna go until noon.
Bring a tent to sleep in.
Wait, hey, don't give me any ideas. Don't listen to him.
Yeah, no. You stay out of trouble. I'm keeping an eye on you.
Identifies the concept of least ready, is that if HMIS is the tool to create a community queue, you are going to get a very long list of
By the way,
people
the
who qualify
guy that was
only
making all the
criteria
noises
are,
before, he's actually a lawyer.
Social Security number.
He's sued the city several times on the whole Weezar incident. He has given credible records to help prosecute Weezar. He looks like a goofball. He's actually an immigration lawyer. So
We're now
yeah.
creating,
But y'all take care.
helping people in the facility supporting to be, easier to get on that list.
But-
You get the list, you can do more progress.
But how, again, how would,
All right, I'm gonna